Tech Talk with Matthew Dickerson. Matthew Dickerson. Tech Talk. Tech Talk. Sit back and relax. It's time to talk technology.
Magic 87.6. Let's talk some tech with Matthew Dickerson. Morning.
Good morning. Great to be chatting tech with you. I do enjoy our time chatting about technology.
I know. You love all the old school radio analogies I use on you, Matt.
About the tape rolling, that sort of thing.
The tape is rolling on the air, you know, all that kind of stuff that we talk about before we actually put you on the air.
Because even on the air now, people would be listening to your program not necessarily over the airwaves. They might be listening to it on the internet, which is not really on the air anymore, is it? So, yeah, they are a bit old-fashioned, some of those things.
I know. It's kind of really weird, especially like we still refer to stuff in radio as tape and carts. And, you know, when you put an ad into the system, right? So when we put the ads into the computer to play, we still refer it as carting an ad.
Right, because it used to be a cart it was on?
It used to be on a tape cartridge, yeah. Yeah, so still the analogy in radio, even though we've gone to digital systems, is have you carted that ad?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's that's the history lesson for today. We should actually get on to something a bit more modern.
Why not? What the heck?
All right. I love this. Everyone's got Chat GPT crazy at the moment. They're trying to put it in everything. They've now put it in a calculator, for heaven's sakes. Are you kidding me?
Well, it's not your average calculator. If anyone remembers some students and friends, or there might have been students themselves that did engineering, then they typically had an engineering calculator, and it looked like a normal calculator with a bigger screen and too many buttons. And so the idea was that in an exam, you could use the engineering calculator because it was silly to try and do those complicated engineering calculations by hand, because in the real world, when you became an engineer, you would have some type of computer or calculator to do those calculations. So that's fine. It's accepted that you're in the exam, you've got your engineering calculator, no problems at all. But one guy thought, you know, maybe we can do a bit more with the good old-fashioned Texas Instruments 284
of course
engineering calculator than just use it for engineering calculations. So he decided to get it hooked up to Wi-Fi, which it doesn't come as standard, then get it hooked up to the internet, then get it hooked up to ChatGPT. So now, with your good old-fashioned engineering calculator, you can sit there in the exam, be punching away, and the examiner watching says, yep, look at that student there working away on his calculator, doing some calculations, fantastic. Unbeknownst to him or her, the person's actually getting answers from ChatGPT. It'll take a little while to scroll through because the screen's not as big as a computer screen, but still you can get some answers from ChatGPT as you went. This puts out alarm bells for every teacher, every examiner, every lecturer out there going, when does it all stop? When does the cheating stop? And I think the cheating stops when ingenuity stops, which is never. But it gives you an idea of just how powerful basic calculators, basic engineering calculators, just devices that we take for granted every day, just how much power is linked within those. So I don't tell you this story, Andrew, because I want to encourage people to be unethical and cheat.
Oh, no.
I tell you the story to say, aren't we incredible in terms of the way we can adapt things and the technology that we've got out there that can be adapted for so many different things. So for examiners out there, keep an eye on those calculators. Maybe have a good look at the screen to see what's actually coming up on the screen rather than just accept the fact they've got that calculator.
I could have used that in my year 11 maths exam. You don't want to know the score I got in my year 11 half-yearly maths exam. I can still remember it to this day.
So you remember the score better than the formulas you're meant to use?
Yeah, no, I didn't even take a compass or a protractor with me. It's probably one of the reasons why I got 11%. If I had this calculator, I just could have bypassed everything.
Yeah, the problem is you might need to have some knowledge of the calculator to actually use it to get the answers correct.
Kind of sums up why I only got 11%. All right, if I had a superpower, I reckon one of them would be night vision. That'd probably be my go-to superpower.
Yeah, that's not a bad one because you can sneak around and look at things and people wouldn't even know you were there and you can see clearly. So you see in the movies, people do have night vision, but they have the great big bulky night vision goggles that need power to run them. And you kind of go, it's a bit obvious. And then, of course, the classic scene in the movies where someone turns the lights on and the person with these big goggles on gets blinded by the light because they've got so much coming in. The way those glasses work, essentially, is they basically take lots of little bits of light, not much, and they amplify it incredibly, which is why the person gets blinded when someone turns the lights on. But they've now got, and so they'll amplify the light, the available light, by about 10,000 times. But now we've got the University of Michigan researchers have come up with some OLED technology that basically you wear like a normal pair of glasses. It looks like normal glasses. They look like maybe a pair of groovy sunnies, depending on the shape of them. And they're clever enough not to amplify the available light by 10,000 times, but to amplify it by 100 times. So not as good as the night vision goggles, but you're not having these big chunky thing you've got to wear around and some other battery pack connected to it. Just the devices themselves allow you to amplify that light going through there. So they're quite incredible in what they do. Now, they do still need battery power, but because they use such a small amount of battery power, you can actually have the batteries built into the arms of the sunglasses, or the glasses. They wouldn't be called sunglasses, I guess, but of the glasses, and then use that for low vision. So I could see these being used in times when you are low vision. So I ride my bike at night time, for example. What a cool concept. Put these glasses on, I could see better at night time. Of course, I've got lights on my bike, but that's not as bright as being outside in the sun. Used for night driving, potentially. Even just used for getting up in the middle of the night and walking around without turning the lights on and blinding your partner that might be in bed trying to sleep. So lots of uses for them. Of course, we can't buy them yet, but this is a sort of thing that's in testing. And normally when you go from where they are now to being used in some commercial environment, maybe 2 or 3 years away. So give it a couple of years and your superpower might almost come true.
Yeah, give it time. Apple will put it in the next iOS update. No.
That's right. And then you'll just use your phone to walk around and look at things.
Yeah, that's people already do that. You've killed two birds with one stone.
That's right.
Yeah. I hate in my household doing dishes. Are you the dishes kind of person?
I'm not the dishes kind of person. In fact,
Yeah.
I do miss the old days when we used to have a lot of kids in our family. So there were 8 kids in my family.
Wow.
And so sitting around, someone doing the dishes, never me, it was always my older sisters doing the dishes, and I used to get stuck with the drying. But it was actually, when I reflect on that time, it was actually quite a nice family environment that you'd be there drying dishes, doing things together as the family, whereas now someone stacks the dishwasher and walks away. But there are some places, get ready for this is breaking news, there are some places that don't have a dishwasher in them. I can't believe they're allowed to live in these houses, but apparently that's a thing, that you don't have a dishwasher. And it's a big deal to put a dishwasher in a modern house because the house is already built. It's already got all the plumbing and the electricity and all the rest of it. So to put a dishwasher in is a bit of a drama, and you need to find the space for it. So I've got a little compact capsule cleaner for you. It's a solo dishwasher. It's designed to sit on your countertop. It does a dishwashing cycle in about 15 minutes. Only uses 2.5 litres of water, uses a minuscule amount of power, 0.17 kilowatt hours of power per cycle. So the idea here is that you don't need to have it plumbed in. You've just got a little water device that sits beside it. You plug it into a normal power point and you put a few dishes in. Now, it's not big enough to put some cooking devices on there, whether it be pots and pans, that type of thing. So not big enough to put those through. It's really designed for someone that just needs to wash maybe a few plates they've used to eat off, maybe some knives and forks. But I love the idea that you just sit it on the bench, stick a few of them in, close the lid, away it goes, and it does a pretty quick cycle to get through it all and job done. So 15 minutes later, you're all finished, ready to put those back in the cupboard. So for people that don't have a dishwasher, a great little concept.
Yeah, you still leave the dishes on the sink though, because you go, look, I'll just do them in 5 minutes, and then you got to go watch the block, and then it's 8:45 by the time the block, and then you just go, look, I'll deal with them tomorrow, and then 3 days later they're still sitting on your sink.
And is this powerful enough to get off 3 days worth of manky gear that's been rock hard embedded on your plate by 3 days' time? I'm not sure if it's powerful enough to do that. I would recommend if you're going to use this one, put it in straight away.
Yeah, bring it around here to our house. We'll test it out for you. We'll tell you if it works. Don't you worry.
Good.
All right. Prosthetics. I love it when medicine and technology get together.
It is cool, isn't it? And we have been making some pretty incredible breakthroughs with prosthetics. There's a whole range of different prosthetics that are being used by people that have no arm or no hand or maybe a leg missing. But this one here is the first magnetically controlled prosthetic hand. So a lot of hands that are trying to be controlled are controlled by electric motors, and so they've got advantages but certain disadvantages as well. But this one here is magnetically controlled, so it's relying on your muscles to still control it, and it's actually quite incredible how much movement you can get out of moving the muscles further up your arm to actually use the prosthetic hand. So I watched a little video of a guy that lost his hand in 2022, and by using the other muscles in his arm, he could actually move this prosthetic. It was quite a tricky maneuver, and I'm going to tell my wife that it's too tricky for me to do, but a clothes peg, actually moving to a clothes peg and releasing a clothes peg off a clothesline and then releasing it back on there when you need it. That's actually quite tricky. We're quite clever with humans with what we can do with our normal devices, but I watched a little video of this particular person doing that with a magnetically controlled hand. So essentially, you've got small magnets in the forearm muscles to control the hand movements, and then those magnets move through to the actual hand itself. So pretty cool. We're getting better with these things. Maybe with some of the Neuralink devices, some of the devices people are having implanted in their brains, you'll get to the point where, just like we do now, we can think about moving the fingers in our hand and it will happen, but we're not quite there yet, so we've still got to use the muscles in our arm to move those hands at this stage.
All right, and finally, these bloody capture things that are on websites, Matt, they're so frustrating. I hate them.
Do you have trouble with them? Do you struggle with
especially
them?
You don't know if it's an O or the numeral 0 or if it's the letter O. I had that the other day trying to get Kylie Minogue tickets. I was so freaking out. I didn't. There were 3 of them in there, and lucky I kind of jagged it, and there were 3 zeros.
Did you get Kylie tickets?
I actually did get Kylie tickets. They were for my wife for her birthday.
Right. So we shouldn't
That's
talk
what
about
I'm going to say on the.
It's a surprise.
No, her birthday was last week. It's fine.
Right. So which concert did you get tickets to?
Sydney, Sunday night.
Well,
there you go.
You did well, because my wife was trying to get them, and I think Adelaide must have gone on sale before Melbourne. She was looking to go to Melbourne. So she got Adelaide ones and thought, do I risk it now that I've got the Adelaide ones? Do I let them go and try and get Melbourne? But she did that once before with the Robbie Williams concert, had good tickets to another concert, gave it up, and then didn't get any tickets for the next one. So she took the Adelaide ones. So she's going up to Adelaide with some friends now to watch Kylie.
Well,
so
that's nice.
Yeah, that's a bit keen, I thought. So back to the point here.
Capture things on
the capture. So capture stands for, you can impress friends at the next time you're hanging around the barbecue, because people will say, what's capture stand for? Capture stands for completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. It's a fairly long acronym, isn't it? Yep. So the idea is it's designed to distinguish a human from a bot, because essentially you don't want bots coming along and tying up time. So, for example, you don't want a bot getting on there and automatically grabbing Kylie tickets before you get a chance to get them.
I know, right?
And that means that someone else has got the tickets before you, and then they go sell them. So they've now developed a little AI system to get around capture tests with 100% success. So they've designed this model to really show that the limitations in capture at the moment, the existing captures, are available, so they can be exploited. So you could get bots out there doing it now. So this is the constant battle we have. They develop the capture tools, that stops bots getting in. Someone develops an AI tool to get past that, they'll have to develop more and more complicated capture tests. So the bad news for you and I is capture tests are going to get more complicated and harder to get around to try and stop AI from getting around them. So this is a problem, because I agree with you. Sometimes you look at it and you go, what letter is that? Is that a number or a letter? Or the photos. Tell me, every photo's got a picture of a bicycle, and you see...
I hate those. They're the worst.
The picture's got a little tiny corner of a wheel
you can't even see the cars in the...
That's right. Is that one? Do I need to click on that one or not?
Yeah.
And then you do it, and you get through and you go, did they just let me go because I thought, yeah, he was close enough, or did I actually get it
Yeah.
right? So
7 times I had to do one of those once to get into it. Oh, the bloody
it wasn't relying on your math skills, was it? Your 11%
No.
skills to get through.
My
So
visuals were great that day.
it gives you an idea of how good AI is getting, the fact that it can get past those better than you and I can. So maybe AI is surpassing human skills now.
Yeah. The really ones that I hate the captures are the squiggly line slanted ones that all kind of run together and you don't know whether it's an E or an 8 and a G and you just get rid of the whole bloody things. I don't care.
And on your phone, they're even worse because the picture's
No.
so much smaller. So you're trying to look at this little tiny picture and work out what letters and numbers they are.
Yeah. Just give me the fire hydrant that's in the square. They're at least easy to kind of look at.